Tonight, I'll be going over Donald Trump's huge win. Donald Trump opens up about his wife, Melania, in light of possible prison time. Dr. Fauci goes under oath before Congress, but says he doesn't know where $710 million worth of royalty money his group received has gone, and that he never, ever lied about COVID. Mexico gets a new president, and illegal immigrants continue to attack policemen in New York. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. By the way, last week, you guys gave one of my videos over 45,000 likes. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Because when you hit that like button, it helps me. And it tells YouTube to share it with other people. So thank you guys. All right, now following last week's historic felony conviction against former President Donald Trump, his campaign was overwhelmed by love and donations. Since last Thursday, Donald Trump has raised over $200 million, which were mostly supplied by small donors. Now, this breaks every record imaginable to running for office in the world. Donald Trump has done it once again. Now, the most interesting fact was that 30% of the donors were people who had never in their life donated to a political campaign before, which highlights the passion behind this new red wave of support. Now, please let me know over in the comments section. Have you ever donated to a political campaign before? If you have, I want you to type yes. And if you haven't, I want you to type N for no. So Y for yes, N for no. I personally have never donated to politicians, but I will be this year because we simply can't go on. The country won't survive. Okay, I'm seeing a mixed bag of Y and N. Hello from Florida. Okay, a lot of no's, a lot of no's. Okay, interesting. I have never done that myself, but I do plan to do that. Now, listen to this. Top communication guy for Donald Trump, Jason Miller, posted this. A new bombshell post put out by Daily Express US shows that even more American voters say they will be voting for Trump after the hush money trial conviction. So after being convicted and labeled a felon, now they are saying we're actually going to be voting for Donald Trump even more. And people have been putting out the funniest memes out there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but look, this is Donald Trump in an orange jumpsuit. Says Trump rolling with the White House as he raises $200 million. This one is Donald Trump in an orange jumpsuit. It says King of the Yard. And this one says Trump sentenced to 4 more years of confinement in a small room in the Oval Office in Washington, D.C. I mean, the more they go after this guy, the more money he raises, the more popular he becomes. It's like everything Democrats and Joe Biden try to throw at Donald Trump, he turns it into money and more support. I feel like I'm living in a strange episode of The Twilight Zone where everything negative becomes a positive. It's really weird. Now, I know that it has not been easy on Donald Trump, nor on his family, and I'll go through that. Now, while most Democrats are jumping for joy, Democrat Representative Dean Phillips, who was running for president because Biden is mentally incapable and frail and unable to lead the country, he is calling for New York Governor Kathy Hochul to pardon Donald Trump. Now, just to be clear, Philip does not like Donald Trump, but he's made the argument that Democrats have now made him a martyr. He will go down in history as a martyr, as the most popular president in American history. That they have been so stupid and that they did not expect this level of backlash And so in order to squash that, he says it's time to pardon him. This is what he said. You think pardoning is stupid? The conviction is energizing his base, generating record sums of campaign cash, and will likely result in an electoral boost. So this guy is saying, listen, Kathy Hochul, you fool. Joe Biden, you fool. Instead of squashing him, you have elevated him. Instead of putting him down, you have raised him up. It's crazy. Like, somebody needs to make a video of Joe Biden lifting Donald Trump on his shoulder, and then the song, "You Raise Me Up." That's what's happening. They're literally making Trump more and more incredible, more and more votable. Like, the country is going, I'm not going to stand for this bull crap. This is lawfare. Like, I know people that don't like Donald Trump that are like, this is some bull crap. We're voting for Donald Trump. I mean, these guys, these guys are so stupid. It's hilarious to me. It's hilarious to me. Now, as Trump awaits his sentencing on July 11th, he has argued that serving jail time would not be healthy for the country. It wouldn't. During an interview with Fox News, he stated, "I'm not sure the public would stand for it. I think it would be tough for the public to take. You know, at a certain point, there is a breaking point." Now, I personally doubt that this will happen, but if it does, I agree. I think all hell might break loose. I think phone lines are going to be lit up. I think that people will be peacefully protesting in the streets. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there are massive protests over in London. They're saying in order to protect London, they need Donald Trump back in office. In order to avoid World War III, London wants Donald Trump back in office. Our people from England, they're saying that the whole world has become unstable because of Joseph Robinette Biden. They don't want war. Nobody wants war except for these warmongers that feed more and more taxpayer money to the military-industrial complex. David Blakely, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Also, Murphy Appalling. Stephen, off topic, but would you do a PI on Biden coordinating with the SPLC to make parent groups associated with the KKK and neo-Nazi terrorists? I can definitely look into that. I can tell you right now, they hate parents. Joe Biden and the progressive left believe that your children and your grandchildren are owned by the government. They think that they own your kids. You can't question what they're learning about in school. You can't question the teacher, their homework. They're stuffing LGBTQ stuff down their throat all the time. They're confusing kids on their gender all over the country. Let's see what else was said here. Thank you for that super chat. Shelly, thank you for the super chat. All right, someone said this story is not over yet. Let's see. Oh, someone said you can sing and it's on key. I do okay for about 3 seconds. Thank you for that, Bruce. All right, let me get back to this. Now, obviously, nobody wants violence. We don't need another January 6th setup, right? Where the police and others coordinate to set off percussion grenades and encourage people to go into the building. We don't need the FBI colluding to get people that just don't want Joe Biden in office. I know that some of you that watch me, you don't even like Donald Trump, but you don't want Joe Biden anymore. So you can vote for Trump, but you can also vote against Biden. And I'm okay with both. We just cannot have Joe Biden. Now, of course, we don't want any violence, but they're saying that Donald Trump is a dictator and that his goon squad will start attacking people and burning buildings. No, I think you're talking about the riots that happened the summer of 2020. It's called the Summer of Love. You can look it up. All right, now, Trump has finally opened up about Melania. He mentioned that she is really struggling with the idea of Donald's political opponents attacking their family. She does not believe her husband cheated on her, and she doesn't believe that he should go to jail for misclassifying a payment to an attorney. It's not like he skipped the payment. He made the payment. But we now know that Barack Obama misclassified legal fees during his run for president. We also know that Hillary Clinton did the same thing. So this is not new. I'm sure that there are lots of people that have misclassified things. You know what they do? They say, hey, that can't be a tax write-off. And on the 130,000, you're in the 23% tax bracket. You owe us $3,000 or whatever the number is. That's what they do in the real world. But in this Democrat-run clown show, they say, we're going to put you in jail on Riker Island, and we're going to take away your Secret Service detail, and we're going to put your life at risk. That's what they do in the Democrat clown-run world. So Melania says that this is a big witch hunt organized by Joe Biden and the Democrats to embarrass her husband, to embarrass her family. She's disappointed that they're now speaking evil of their teenage son, Barron. So she's pretty upset about it. And then they wonder why she doesn't want to go to events. I mean, this is the former first lady that doesn't want to go to events because she's scared. Like literally these freaks in Washington, D.C. have scared her. I don't blame her. I'm sure my wife would be the same. All right. Now, despite Trump rising in the polls after his conviction, Democrat governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, has called the idea that Trump's conviction will make him more popular amongst Black people a deeply problematic and offensive argument. Why? Why? If Black people want to like Donald Trump, why is that offensive? If Black Americans who live here, deserve to be here, pay their taxes, raise their families here, if they want to vote for Donald Trump, why is that problematic? There's only one reason it's problematic, is because the Democrats want that vote. That's why it's problematic. Because there's nothing wrong with voting for Donald J. Trump. Now, I think what he's hinting at is, unfortunately, there are Black Americans that are disproportionately represented in the prison system. And there does need to be justice reform. It's sad. But the simple fact is Donald Trump's support among Black Americans has doubled. And Joe Biden is jealous. The Democrats are jealous. They're angry. But I don't blame them. They've done nothing for you. They voted against getting rid of slavery. They founded the KKK. What is it that you expect that they are going to do for you? School systems are falling apart. I mean, they literally do nothing for the Black community. So why wouldn't they turn to Donald J. Trump? Now, on the other side of the aisle, President Biden is trying to convince voters that he had nothing to do with Trump's conviction. Yeah, right, Joey. We know, as the big guy, the head of the federal mafia, of course you're pulling the strings. Of course you're the one behind the scenes. We know your White House is meeting with Fani Willis and her lover. We know that the J6 committee was weaponized. We know the Department of Justice was weaponized. We know that you colluded with the FBI and the National Archives to send the evidence you needed to Mar-a-Lago. Don't treat us like we're stupid, Joe Biden. You're the stupid one. We are on to you. We know what you're doing. We know that behind the scenes, you are laughing. And then you come out on stage, me don't know anything. I'm Joe Biden. We know that you are playing a game. So don't be stupid. Now, to prove the point, Biden claimed he's not worried at all about being prosecuted when he leaves office because He's done nothing wrong ever in his whole life. That's what he literally said. I've done nothing wrong. Why would I be worried? Well, I'd be worried, big guy. I'd be worried. Maybe some of those Afghanistan war crimes, giving out details to James Biden, Hunter Biden, covering up for your son's drug dealings, foreign dealings, evading taxes. That will all catch up with you eventually. Now, as the election gets closer, Joe Biden wants himself to look better and Trump to look worse. A new report which broke from the Hill claimed that Biden will finally limit the flow at the border by signing an executive order. But how can he do that? He has no authority. He has no authority. Of course he has authority. He's the president of the United States, for heaven's sakes. Now, for those who are big on border security, I wouldn't get your hopes up. My guess is this will be all for show, and then he'll hand out pens, maybe sniff some babies. But I'm not getting my hopes up until Donald J. Trump is back in office. That's when you'll see the flow of illegals stop at the border. Now, setting limits on immigration probably won't be low enough to positively impact the situation. But hey, we've got an election coming up. He's got to look like he's doing something. But the proof will be the fact that the same number of people will continue to die from fentanyl because you are a heartless human being that doesn't care that little girls are being violated at the border. People are drowning and dying. They're burning through their entire family net worth in order to get here. They're completely dependent on the welfare system, which should be going to struggling Americans, seniors, veterans, but it doesn't. Now, White House National Security spokesman Admiral John Kirby has decided to defend Israel as they've been criticized by the whole world. When asked what the consequences would be for America if we caused civilian deaths in war, Kirby stated, "We have conducted airstrikes in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, where tragically we caused civilian casualties. We did the same thing," he says. So I think his answer is perfect. War is ugly, and death can't be avoided. It should be avoided. You should do everything you can to avoid it. You should also do everything you can to not be at war. But much of the world is addicted to war. There's big, big money in war. Hamas needs to be wiped out. I don't know if there is a better way of going after Hamas. If there is, I think that they should pursue it. But, the United States is guilty of the same war crimes that Israel has committed. George W. Bush and Dick Cheney are responsible for 1 million dead people in the Middle East. Are there war crimes against them? No. Just Donald Trump and a clerical error. No. They get to ride off in the sunset. Obama drone strikes somebody at a wedding. Ooh, nope. Not going to go after him for that. Accidents happen, right? All right. Mexico has a new president, and it's a woman, the first female president. Claudia Sheinbaum, a climate scientist and former mayor of Mexico City, has become the first woman to lead Mexico. She won in a landslide victory. She's also the first woman to win the general election in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. During her presidency, Sheinbaum will aim to expand on the social welfare policies of her mentor, outgoing President Andre Obrador. Now, while tackling the surging problem of organized crime, 38 candidates were killed during Mexico's election cycle, the most in Mexican history. Dang. Can you imagine if 38 people running for office died in America? That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Now, it'll be interesting to see how she, as president, deals with Joe Biden. But hopefully it's for a very short period of time and she's dealing with Donald Trump. Now, I love Mexico. I would love to see us have a good working relationship between the two countries, but we can't have all these illegal immigrants, and American companies need to fight more to stay in America instead of shipping jobs over to Mexico. All right, now speaking of people dying, the monster, Dr. Anthony Fauci, testified before Congress today. Keep in mind, he admitted masks are fake, 6 feet apart is fake, kids getting COVID like adults, fake. He funded this evil virus that killed millions of people and affected health, the health of people, including myself. With that said, people are angry. They're very angry. You had Democrats defending him on Capitol Hill, saying that he and Joe Biden saved millions of lives. On the other hand, you had Republicans saying, you guys were just funding Big Pharma. This whole thing was a scam. The way that you did this, you literally demonized every drug that they now say is good so that you could put shots in our arms. This arm for COVID and this one for the flu. That's what they said. Robbie Starbucks of Twitter said this: people were banned from holding their loved ones as they died, banned from visiting sick family members, banned from stores if they refused a mask, arrested for taking their kids outside, and both people and businesses died because of this tyrant. Justice starts with Fauci going to jail. Let me know what you guys think about that. Marjorie Taylor Greene had this to say, and by the way, she really sliced into Fauci during her congressional time. So, of course, Democrats cut her off at least 4 different times to stop her from talking. Here's what she said: Fauci is coming before the committee today. Fauci lied, people died, and life as we know it changed into a nightmare. Those of us who refused the COVID vaccine, refused masks, and refused to follow Fauci's made-up science were ostracized. Many were fired and even accused of murder by President Biden. Millions were killed by COVID, which was created in a lab through people playing God using gain of function, and Fauci approved it. Many have died from the vaccine or lifelong vaccine injuries, and Big Pharma has full liability protection, while Fauci forced the vaccine while possibly financially benefiting from his own rules. Useless masking was forced on everyone, including children, by Fauci's made-up guidelines. And there are still confused people walking around wearing useless masks. Fauci even now admits that he made up the 6-foot spacing rule, which led to full-blown lockdowns and destroyed social norms. The personal stories are endless, life-altering, life-ending, and devastating. But nothing has been done about any of it. That's the worst part. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. We really appreciate you. So glad you were made into a Mattel Barbie doll. Now, listen to this. This is the part that probably makes me the most mad, and it took 3 years to discover this truth. Fauci buried this for 3 years. Dr. Fauci and others at NIH got $710 million in secret royalty money for pushing Big Pharma on American taxpayers. $710 million. Dr. Fauci testified on Capitol Hill today that of the $710 million, he only got $120. But he refuses to say where the other $709 million went. So where is it? Where's the $710 million, Dr. Fauci? And you, as the head of the division, you're saying you don't know where the money is? How could you be the head of a program and not know where $710 million went? Something doesn't make sense. This is a fishy story. Occam's razor tells me the simplest explanation is most likely the correct explanation. You are hiding the money and you are covering for somebody. So who is it? Lastly, journalist Colin Rugg shared this. 19-year-old Venezuelan illegal immigrant shoots 2 police officers after they stopped him on a motorized scooter. The incident comes after Biden offered mass amnesty by terminating 350,000 asylum cases. Bernardo Castro Mata pulled out a gun and started shooting at police, chasing after him. They saw him driving down the wrong side of the street. The illegal had crossed the border at Eagle Pass, Texas last year and was staying at the shelter at the former Courtyard Hotel near LaGuardia Airport. One of the officers was hit in the leg and the other in the chest. The officer who was hit in the chest was saved thanks to his bulletproof vest. Now, luckily, the officers are in good spirits and they will recover. So illegals are being allowed in. They're given cash, a phone, 3 meals a day, and $700 a night hotel, while Americans and seniors and veterans suffer with high inflation. And how does he thank us? He shoots our police officers. How messed up is that? My gosh. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, this is my update for today. Hey, I put out a video earlier today that got suppressed. It's about how leaked information from Alvin Bragg made it to The View. Go check it out. It was my video from earlier today. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Please give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 1.6 million amazing truth seekers. I love you guys. Stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.